So No Outsiders is something that we try to embed in everything we do in our day-to-day school life. We have termly lessons around No Outsiders books that we share with our classes. We have our weekly No Outsiders assemblies, and we have our Skittles Club, which is our diversity committee, who look to bring diversity and inclusion into everyday life.
We started our journey 5 years ago really, when we did No More Boys and Girls. And of course we looked at gender equality and we looked at gender stereotypes. And the work that we did around that, you know, the language that we use in the classroom, the books that we use, the curriculum, was really, really good. But that was just with a gender lens, that was with a gender stereotype lens. And we felt that actually we needed to progress further than that. So we thought, you know what, we need to do something more than this, because of course, you know, when you look at No Outsiders, it's not just about gender, it's about everything. So we contacted you because actually we saw a gap within our school and a need within our school. We saw the work that you'd done. And then of course you came to us with your brilliantly authentic story and you've inspired everybody. The books that you brought, the curriculum that's come down, the children, and actually not just the children, but the teachers have loved teaching it. So it's been brilliant.
You know, you might have had an issue or a query with a certain child, or you might, you know, the children might be going through something, like it acts as like a tool for like a social story, and then you might read it, and then rather than singling out a child and saying, right, today we're talking about, you know, bullying, actually we're reading this book, let's talk about it as a whole. So you're not singling that child out, you're collectively talking about it. That's what I like about it.
What we found works for us really well now is embedding it through everything we are doing. So in all areas of the curriculum, is there an opportunity to spread the word about inclusion and to teach about inclusion?
It started as looking at books with children and then sort of following the lessons that were there. But it evolves, doesn't it? So when you start picking up books that might not be, you start seeing those links. So it's dropping in all the time. Every time you pick up a book, you start thinking differently and thinking, oh, you know, oh, we've seen this in another book when someone was left out, and can you remember what we talked about then? It starts becoming quite natural as you pick up different storybooks with the children. That's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah,
that they're going to take it from here and it's going to filter into other parts of their lives.
Absolutely.
And their way of seeing things is going to rub off on other children that they come into contact with, and their way of thinking might rub off on adults around them. So it's like it's filtering down and it's filtering out from here, isn't it?
Challenging, perhaps, you know, topics that you would either be scared of talking about yourself in a classroom, or where you know that some children have a very fixed mindset about things. And, you know, it's about representation as well, I think. Like, you know, you might be that child might not even realise that they're feeling that way, and then suddenly they read a book and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's me.
This year, linking to the No Outsiders text, we decided to have a theme of belonging, and each year group from reception up until year 6 were asked to choose a No Outsiders text from the PSHE curriculum and use it to immerse the children in the theme that the book shares. And then some teachers chose to do other No Outsiders books as well, or they chose to then further develop the theme of the No Outsiders text into another text. So for example, in year 5 we looked at the girls, the idea of friendship, and then developed that with the book Wonder, which then looks at friendship, different friendship pairings, and the children then had a written outcome.
We had a diversity section originally, sort of a couple of years ago, where those books were separate from everybody else's and had a special sticker on, so that we were really pushing inclusion and books. All of the, you know, whatever book you recommended was there. But now what we've done is, over time, that doesn't need to happen anymore. Books are books. Books are just in our books, in our general classification, whatever, there'll be a diversity book in there. And that's how it has to be, not seen as something separate. No Outsiders shouldn't be something separate, it's something that we do.
Literature is such an amazing avenue for these children to access. I think without these books, it's very difficult to talk about things, but the books help children accept their differences and accept other people's differences.
So I photocopied all the lesson plans, laminated them, put them in packs and said to teachers, come and use them. And funnily enough, just the other day, I went to have a little look to see, because I wanted a book because I was in another class, and there was hardly anything there, which is a good sign, you know, because it means that people are using them.
I think for me, it kind of allows me to hone something that I think is really important into my everyday practice and find ways of making what can feel like a really big topic for us of how do we celebrate difference within our society and our community, and how do we bring that into school every day. So it gives me like a channel to put that energy into. And I think for other teachers, it gives them a way of doing something that sometimes they might not be so comfortable about, particularly when talking about, for example, LGBT issues. I think historically with Section 28, we haven't been allowed to talk about that. And I think there's still a lot of fear probably about what can and can we not say. And when you look at how the media treats some issues, you think, oh, am I saying the right thing? And I think Now Outsiders really shows the simplicity of teaching about inclusion. You give them a nice book like And Tango Makes Three or Introducing Teddy, and it really comes at very complex topics in very straightforward ways and delivers that message of Now Outsiders in the way that it should be, really straightforward.
They're there as a guide, but we're not necessarily constricted to the plan. We definitely allow the children to lead through discussion, through debate, whilst we might start with one idea, whether like Tango Makes Three if it's a banned, but when it's banned book elsewhere, but that theme might then change to actually looking at relationships instead. So it's really the direction that the children want to take it in and what their discussions are, what they're trying to build on each other's ideas. So really just follow their ideas and their thoughts, really.
Like beautiful, like exactly what you'd want it to be, which my favourite thing about Now Outsiders is I go in thinking, when we first did these lessons, I thought, oh, what are they going to say? What will it be like? And actually, they're exactly as you'd expect them to be, very open-minded and very happy to have a conversation about it.
Understanding of culture, religion, understanding of different people's, the ways they live, families. We talked about families and how everybody has a different family and every family should be valued. We've talked about how it impacts on the playground, how friendships are important. We've talked about in Year 6 the changes that they're going through in their own bodies, but also in their transition to secondary school, and the fact that when they go to secondary school, they're going to meet different people, different skin colours, different ethnicities, different religions, and this is where I hope that these lessons will make the most impact.
I think also for me it's helped to firstly like open up discussions in a really safe forum, like you've said already, because I teach in Upper Key Stage 2, and so quite a few of the children already have some opinions or some experiences, some that are influenced by media, by some social media sites and things. So to be able to create like a safe space in which we can explore some of the things that they have opinions about, and perhaps to challenge some of those opinions as well has been really good.
I think I like the fact that then it means that the children can talk about sort of challenging concepts maybe in a more of a safe environment, and it enables them to sort of have a discussion. They can maybe challenge each other's ideas, build on what other people have said, and it's all sort of done in a really child-friendly way, and they feel kind of empowered to take the lead.
I think we overthink what children can handle. I think of children as blank slates when they come into primary schools, without any sort of preconceived notions of what life should be like or how we should be. So when we open up a book about someone who's different, we're only showing them the diversity of the world that we live in, it's not complicated at all. I think the people it's complicated for are the adults who have various prejudices built up inside them from society and from the world they've grown up in. And they're trying to unpick that to try and make sense of why we should teach that to children. But for kids, I think they hear them and they think, ah, okay, that's different and that's great. And it's as simple as that for them, I think.
You know, the more you do it, the less uncomfortable it feels.
And I think the younger they are, the younger they are, the more natural it is.
Yeah.
So then hopefully as they move through the school, those conversations are much more normal if they've been having them right from reception. By the time they get to year 6.
It's not a surprise.
Why would you not? Why would you not do it? It's actually right. It's right. It's right morally, ethically, everything. That it is right. We are in a very changing world and an education climate that is sometimes a landscape that is faltering with a lot of opinions about a lot of things, and we need to cut through the noise and do what is right for our children. It's what's right for the children. It's got to come back, always come back to the children and make it safe. So this is what is normal. What is normal, you know? Everything is normal, and we want to make sure that our children, when they go out into the community, they are able to mix, accept, chat, talk, do whatever they need to do, ask questions, absolutely be critical thinkers, and to question what people's perceptions are, especially around at the moment, and to be disruptors, upstanders, not bystanders, and to be advocates for inclusion. That's what we want, and no head should be not doing it, personally.